Last year, the Galaxy Note 2 has been one of our favorite phones for 2012. It packs a lot of punch, great battery life, and of course the S Pen, which makes the phone a Galaxy Note. This year, Samsung brought us the next iteration of the powerhouse. I'm Jens Garcia from Tech4Geeks, and this is our full review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. First of all, before we continue, I would like to thank Mobicity for providing us the handset. You can check them out at www.mobicity.com, or you can click the link in the description box below to get yourself a Galaxy Note 3. The Galaxy Note 3 is one of the most anticipated and probably the powerhouse of all the smartphones right now. Sporting a quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor clocked in at 2.3 GHz and not 1, not 2, but 3 GB of RAM, along with a powerful Adreno 330 GPU to handle all your high-intensive games, and that beautiful 5.7-inch Full HD Super AMOLED display. Now, the best way to explain this to you is that you are getting the best. Now, unlike the previous Galaxy Note models, or I should say the Galaxy lineups, the Note 3 stepped away from the old hyperglaze finish and instead uses a fake leather to cover up the back. While the back is still made out of plastic, the leather finish really helps the phone to have a better feel and grip when you hold it. While it doesn't feel the best, but it certainly feels a lot better compared to the hyperglaze finish. But in terms of the overall build quality of the phone, it's still not as good as the HTC One. Now, Samsung's idea of using a different material really does make the Note 3 look like an executive device. You get the different patterns as well around the sides of the phone, and it is still plastic, but giving it a different pattern really separates the Note 3 to the Galaxy S lineups. And one notable feature on the Note 3 is the USB 3.0 port, which means not only you'll be able to charge the phone faster, but file transferring will also be quicker. And if you're worried about not being able to use your micro USB cable, then you shouldn't be, because this is backwards compatible. The S Pen has been redesigned as well to the similar pattern on the Note 3 to complement the design. Now, the first time I've used it, it was quite complicated because of the thin design, but after using it for so many times, I've gotten so used to it and completely forgot about its slimness. Its accuracy and sensitivity has improved a lot as well, and when you actually take off the S Pen, you'll have this cursor when you use it, which I find to be really neat. It just makes everything you're doing a lot more precise, in my opinion. And you can also place the S Pen in two different ways, so it's a lot easier now to insert back the S Pen to the phone. The 5.7-inch display on the Note 3 is gorgeous, and I really had a great time using it when web browsing, playing games, and basically watching movies as well. And the text looked really sharp and crisp thanks to 386 ppi. While you don't get the same sharpness compared to the HTC One or the Galaxy S4 because of the bigger display, I was still really happy by its sharpness and clarity. Plus, I guess if you had this kind of display, this big display, you wouldn't really think of it anyway, because the moment you started using the phone, then you'll just completely forget about the pixels. Now, the display is vivid and high in contrast, which really makes every images pop. It is slightly high in saturation since it's an AMOLED display, therefore colors can be inaccurate sometimes, like red can end up looking like light pink or lime green can end up looking like green. But even though it was oversaturated, it really does help when you are viewing flowers because they are bright and colorful. But overall, I'm really pleased with the display. The viewing angle is great and the black levels are deep, which means black will look black and not grayish. The Note 3 packs a lot of punch, and while we don't always base the performance of the phone by looking at the spec sheet, but for the Note 3 I have to say that the 3 GB of RAM really helps the device to run really smooth, especially when multitasking. It really is a smooth experience, and I haven't really experienced any major lag at all, but there is a slight delay or lag, I should say, but that really is because of TouchWiz. But apart from that, I've had a really solid experience with it. And considering that this is also running Snapdragon 800 processor and, as I've mentioned, 3 GB of RAM, I really had a great time using the phone. Now, as I've said, switching between different applications was not a problem, and it was able to handle the new TouchWiz fairly well as well. And I guess I'm really happy to say that this is the fastest Samsung phone that I've ever used. As what you would expect from a powerful phone, I was able to play basically all my favorite games with no issues at all. The frame rates was buttery smooth, and the amount of details when playing graphic intensive games is really impressive, all because of the Adreno 330 GPU. Now all the goodness doesn't stop there. On the back there is a 13 megapixel camera that not only records 1080p videos but also 4K. So that's 3840 by 2160 resolution goodness right there. But to really take advantage of that, then you will obviously need a 4K TV. However, if you want to have an idea about the resolution that this guy takes, then you can click the annotation link at the top and watch our 4K sample. Now, as for taking still shots, the Note 3 is definitely a big improvement over the Note 2. And it's about the same as the S4, but probably the Note 3 is slightly better, but just by a tiny bit. Now, the outdoor shots on the Note 3 looked absolutely awesome. The sharpness and amount of detail is superb. The color representation is really good as well. Even at an exposed situation, I was able to get some great shots without photos being too washed out. Now look at this photo that I took a few weeks back, and which I think is pretty good for wallpaper, right? But anyway, as you can see here, if you look at the sky first, the color looked exactly right when I took the photo. And take a look at the shadows from the other buildings. The amount of details is truly superb. You can see that sharpness from it as well, and you wouldn't even think that it was taken with a phone. The low light performance, in my opinion, is one of the best that I've used on an Android smartphone. But what I've noticed though is the camera really had trouble focusing in very low light situation. However, if you have a few dim lights around, then the Note 3 will do fine. Now, if you love taking selfies, then the 2 megapixel front facing camera will not let you down. You get a really natural color from it, but at the same time it's sharp and well detailed. Now, in addition to its awesome camera, you have plenty of options as well to be creative by adding filters to the photo, and obviously you can be creative with all these modes that Samsung included. And finally, Photosphere is now preloaded on the Note 3, except it's called Surround Shot, as you would expect from Samsung. Now, if you're not familiar with that, basically it will let you take 360-degree pictures to create a spherical panorama. Now, the addition of smart stabilization is very effective if you have shaky hands. While it doesn't work when recording videos, I hope in the future we will finally be able to use it in video recording, because I think that's going to be really handy. While I'm not the biggest fan of the cartoony look of TouchWiz, Samsung have done a great job implementing the OS to the phone. Not to also mention that it's running Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. While it may not be the latest version of Android, but the majority of phones that are running Android 4.3 are still very little. It's not visually overhauled, but instead adds a few neat features to make the Galaxy Note 3 a Galaxy Note device. Without the S Pen features, it is still the same old TouchWiz experience. It has its own version of Google applications, well, almost for all the system applications. Pressing the button on the S Pen will open up the Air command. While I'm not going to be in depth with it, since I want to share you my experience and what I use the most, I will still briefly explain what it does. So first of all is Action Memo. Now, Action Memo allows you to make a note and then execute it to a different format. It could be as a contact, search on the web, or look up for an address on the map. And then you have Scrapbook, which lets you to be more organized, I guess, because it lets you save information from different sources so you can easily look up for it when you need it. And then you've got ScreenWrite, which takes a screenshot of the screen, and then from there it will let you to edit that and then save it back to your phone. Then you've got S Finder, which I think is a really nice addition because it will allow you to search for the keywords that you're looking for. It could be as a document or an event or even the help page. And the last command is the pen window. Now, if you've used Q-Slide apps on some of the LG phones, this is basically Samsung's own version of it, except with the S Pen twist. Now, the applications are still very limited, and basically it's a really good way to multitask because you can open multiple system applications, but as I've said, it is still very limited. But I'm hoping that in the future Samsung will let us to use more applications. Out of all the commands, I've actually used Action Memo and Scrapbook more than the rest of the commands, because with Scrapbook I can quickly save any important links or websites straight away onto the phone, and then with Action Memo I can just quickly write down a link or short notes. So overall, I reckon that Samsung is on the right track, making the S Pen one of the highlights of the phone. My Magazine is also added, which is basically Samsung's own version of Flipboard. Now, you can access it by simply swiping up from the left capacitive button, or you can just press the home button. Now, the news loads up pretty fast, and swiping up to different pages is very snappy as well. And then you still have your own motions and gestures features that you'd find on the Galaxy S4. So for example, the Air View, it is still there. So that's really nice to see that they've included it on the Note 3 still. The 3200 mAh battery is one of the main reasons why you would get this phone. Based from my experience, the maximum hours I was able to get on a very busy day was 10 hours plus, and that's with the use of both Wi-Fi and mobile data. I also hooked up the phone to the Galaxy Gear and constantly using the browser, social media networks, and email. Now, I guess if you're a light to medium user, the chances are it will still last for up to 2 days depending on the task that you're doing, but the Note 3 should definitely get you through a day of usage. The Note 3 proved itself yet again to be a powerhouse smartphone. It has almost everything that Android users want except the fact that it runs TouchWiz. But even though it runs TouchWiz, the improvements in terms of performance is very noticeable. The redesigned S Pen is better than ever, especially on a giant display, and I guess that's what's special about the Note 3 that no other giant-sized phones have. You have the freedom to use it or not use it. So there you have it, that's our full review on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. What do you think of it? Definitely let us know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then definitely make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and even Instagram. As always, I'm Jens Garcia from Tech4Geeks, and I'll see you all in the next one.